I've been feeling off my game all day, caught between corporate inbreeders and ant-brain protesters but pitying me, here and now. That's all it takes to get my blood properly boiling. It's about time for me to call my first witness, no? You want to keep going after that? What are you doing, counsellor? Just calling the ultimate silver bullet, rock-solid, slam-dunk witness a girl could ask for. Is here good? Does it matter where I put my hands? Miss Starling, thank you for coming here today. Oh, of course, whatever I can do. What is your relation to the deceased? I was his executive assistant at Noble Electronics. I would arrange his meetings, coordinate communications between him and other departments, that sort of thing. Ultimate silver bullet. Starling's the only player I have right now, the only stalling tool I have left. For now, I just need to focus on getting as much information from her as possible. Whether or not it's useful, I'll at least buy me some time. While Jess was being sworn in, Sarah mentioned that the hard drive's about 60% decrypted. Considering the rate Sarah's gotten so far, there's going to be another hour left. I might be able to stall that long, if I talk real slow. I'd like to ask you a few questions about Dr. Asher. Please answer them to the best of your ability. Right. Dr. Asher was a well-known public figure, but he was well-regarded professionally? Of course. Dr. Asher's work set the bar for the entire automated dependent world. Stay focused, Spearmint. Spearmint! Oh, I love it. You say you coordinated his communications? Were there ever threats? Did people ever express an intent to harm him? Objection. Calls for speculation. Intent. I'm feeling like there's gonna be a sustained. Did anyone ever threaten him? There were times when he was the focus of negative attention. How so? Dr. Asher was a favourite subject of many conspiracy theorists. With all his contributions to the field, it was easy for them to make claims about his influence. They'd say that his work was plagiarised, or that he was hiding illegal subcommands in the technology he developed, which he did. And people would contact him about these conspiracy theories. Relevance. Whether or not people wanted to kill him? Well, withdrawn. Miss Starling. People would attempt to contact him, yes, but their messages were always too vague for the police to take action on. They would say that he belonged in jail, or that he couldn't avoid the truth, or that someone should do something to shut him up. Did they ever talk about hurting him? Yes. But I always turn those messages straight over to the police. Yeah, I'm seeing that on the record. Yeesh, who writes this stuff? All those cases have long since been resolved, Your Honour, and none of the parties involved have had contact with Dr. Asher in years. The police take harassment very seriously. Pfft. Something you want to add, counsellor? Just clearing my throat. May I continue? Isaac's call. Why is this evidence? Why did this just pop up in the evidence? Just clearing my throat. May I continue? You worked with Dr. Asher for many years. Did you have a relationship outside of work? Did you ever talk about anything besides professional concerns? Sure, we'd been out to dinner or met on the weekends. I think he liked to pick my brain since he needed relationship advice a lot. Even if he didn't realise that was what he was asking for. I'd like to think he knew he could talk to me, but did he ever talk to you, or to your knowledge anyone else, about hurting himself? God, no, never. Do you know of any history he might have had with mental illness, depression, anxiety? No. So when you heard the people argue that Dr. Asher had done this to himself, I was shocked. I couldn't believe it. You're saying you can't believe. Objection. On what grounds? Asked and answered. Stalling. And also, the people of documents that would be of interest to the court in this matter. Juicy, and what matter specifically are you referring to? The deceased's mental health history. Emma wouldn't be speaking up if she didn't have something real. So what the hell is this about? We have private correspondences that describe... If they're private, they should not have been obtained by the people without his permission. He can't give permission if he's already dead, and we're well within our rights to obtain evidence as it pertains to his crime. Convincing. Damn, I didn't honestly expect to stop her from admitting her evidence into the record, but I was hoping to at least slow her. Where are you on that footage? 77%. Approximately. I need to buy whatever time I can, however I can, even if that means running out the clock as a punching bag. I have here messages between Dr. Asher and a psychiatrist he was meeting with and speaking to for the past year, along with paperwork detailing how his plan was covered under his Platinum plan. Okay. Schedule and pay for psychiatric appointments. Platinum? I don't intend to air all of Dr. Asher's secrets here in the court. Oh, okay, I guess. But I am prepared to read excerpts from messages and transcripts from phone calls, which, when put together, paint a clear picture of the kind of stress David Asher was experiencing, and the dark thoughts he was struggling with. Transcripts of his phone calls? I'll admit them into evidence, assuming there are no objections. There's nothing strange. There's something strange. Why? Transcripts of his phone calls. Thing is, we know that they are like monitored. So if the phone calls took place, maybe this is itself the evidence. If it's common knowledge that these things are recorded, why would David do this while in the building, you know? The only thing that's making me think I should raise here is the quotations around transcripts. Oh, God. Raise. I'll gladly object. On the grounds of foundation. Where did you say you got this? It was retrieved from his digital records. There's no reason to doubt its authenticity. Even if I were to point out that David had an executive level 4 plan, not a platinum plan. Oh, okay, no, I missed that. What? Really? Really? Yes, really, it's all there in the record. This is easily explained. David had an executive plan that Noble managed for him. He was also seeing the psychiatrist both in person and over the phone. Your own witness has attested that he dealt with stalkers and was worried for his privacy. So it's easy enough to reason that he had a separate insurance policy he paid for on his own. Even if only to keep one thing out of Noble's grasp. Sure, easy enough to make that assumption. But that doesn't make it correct. David used a separate insurance to hide his psychiatrist from Noble's spying. Ah, this is why it's important that he's the transcripts. Because if he wanted to hide it from Noble's spying, why would he then make the phone calls from a place that he knew was monitored? No, he was smarter than that. Nope. Recorded calls. That one. Nope. No, it's the recorded calls. David may well have wanted a private psychiatrist, someone who didn't work for Noble, who would have had his best interests at heart. But if so, he wouldn't have contacted them over the phone. Not when he knew all his phone calls were being recorded. That's... David Asher was well versed in having every aspect of his life overanalyzed by data-hungry parasites. Do you really think he would try and hide mental health problems from them with a second insurance policy? Apparently, yes, since I'm standing here with evidence that shows exactly that. Does it, though? Pardon me? Yeah, like what exactly are you suggesting, Counselor? Is she picking her nose? Still not done decrypting. Well, it's difficult to... Right. What the hell? Might as well swing for the fences at this point. I'm not trying to muddle the issue or confuse the court, Your Honour, and I would never make outlandish, unsubstantiated claims just for the sake of causing drama. What are you... I'm merely concerned that D.A. Rockford has been an unwitting pawn in an act of corporate espionage. What? If the markets were to open Monday with people believing that David Asher, the man who programmed the brain of every noble android, was battling mental health issues for the last several months... Objection, mischaracterization, foundation, all the rest... There are no corporate spies in this courtroom, Counselor, and there are no boogeymen hiding under the bench. Oh, thank God. David Asher was a once-in-a-generation intellect and an extremely valuable human asset to his employers. And his employer's many enemies would do whatever it takes to destroy his credibility now that he can't defend himself. And he was also your personal... You shouldn't even be here arguing this case in the first place, Counselor. The fact that she's bringing that up now means she's on the back foot. Now you're trying to call the police's evidence gathering into question? All because you can't admit for the last several months your friend has been seeing a psychiatrist every Monday and you didn't know? That is... I'm sorry, but like... Did you still need me up here? Oh, Jess. Adorable. The witness will refrain from interrupting when girls are fighting. Yes, Mom. With how my luck's been so far, Sarah's progress bar is probably moving backwards right about now. And Emma's patience is wearing thin. This could be my last shot to create any kind of reasonable doubt. I'd be happy to wrap up my questioning if the court would allow. That seems... cool with me. And my evidence, Your Honour, will it be entered into the record? I'd like to hear a bit more testimony before deciding. That's fine, Your Honour. As you were, Counselor. At this stage in the game, with the score where it is, I can probably ask one more question. Better make it count. So what can Starling tell us that no one else could? If she hadn't called me this morning, I wouldn't be standing here. And she only did that because... Miss Starling, we're all gathered here to try and figure out what happened to Dr. Asher last night. So please tell us, when exactly did he last... This is my last question? Don't ask a question you don't know the answer to. See you, contact you, or meet you at HQ. Aha! Here we are. This is the important thing. CCE, counter corporate espionage, frequently involves the use of double talk in coded language, including hiding the training as psychiatric evaluations. Maybe. I don't know, at this point I'm way off the reservation. I really don't know. I can't find anything where Jess actually told me when... I don't know which of these is relevant. I don't think it's meet you at HQ. That's irrelevant. See you or contact you. The last time they spoke, she asked... I don't know. I have no idea. And sadly, the backlog only goes so far, so I can't like scroll back to the beginning of the game to remind myself whether they met or not. I don't remember. It's got to be the contact you. That's the important one. That's the only relevant thing. It doesn't matter when they last saw each other. It's got to be contact. It's not that one. That one has absolutely no bearing, because the only thing that's going to show is that he didn't get out of the house enough, which goes to show her like the mental state. See you. I don't know that that's really relevant either. It's got to be the contact. It's the only one I can think could possibly work. When was the last time you had contact with Dr. Asher, Miss Starling? Well, that's pretty easy to figure out. Let me just... Yeah, it was last night at 6:57 p.m. We texted back and forth. Oh. Uh-oh. The static. Sorry, the glitchy effect usually means I fucked up. There are records of some text, but they're flagged as work-related. Does the court really think they're relevant, Your Honour? relevant? Yes, it does. Why? It's the whole why would he be working right before killing himself thing. Yes. It could very well be the single most important piece of evidence in this whole trial. What? Oh wow, I got 14 for that. I just got chills. Don't know why though. Must be a coolant leak. The defense doesn't know what they're talking about. On the contrary, these texts are a vital piece of evidence that changed the timeline of events as we know them. We know what happened to David last night, generally speaking, but the order of events is critical. Especially if Emma wants to make claims about David's state of mind. Yes, because he was talking about work after the call with Isaac. So despite having that call, he was still focused enough on work to not just be consumed with the concept of killing himself. Select and place cards from your hands into the slots in chronological order. Pick a card back up and place it if you change your mind, or use return. Fill all the slots. Okay, so the call was first. Drank with David before he died. Starling's text and David faints. Yes, that's it. Thanks to Miss Starling, we've now got a much clearer picture of the night's events. We know that Isaac Porter and David Asher broke up at 6:30 p.m. And I was rooting for them so hard. And we know that David messaged his assistant, Miss Starling, at 6:57 p.m. David is on camera with the witness from 7:30 to 8 p.m. and he was declared dead not long after. The people don't object to that timeline of events, but we do question Councillor Morgan's reason for belabouring it. One last question, Miss Starling. Yeah? What was the nature of your conversation with Dr. Asher? Well, actually, we talked about you. And how he wanted you to have his android. That android there. Putting his affairs in order, I guess. It might appear that way. Can you specify what his instructions were exactly? How did he want this done? Well, he wanted me to bring you to his penthouse and help you get set up as the android's new owner. Yes, Miss Starling, but when did he want this to happen? Well, he said it was pretty urgent, so I should do it first thing Tuesday morning. Tuesday? First thing Tuesday morning. David Asher didn't like doing anything on Mondays. Okay, I don't think I could possibly have guessed that. And was he going to be in attendance? Well, actually, yes, he would work from home to help us. No way he intended for us to have that much trouble getting to... Oh. To summarise, then. Did I know he was going to be there? Because that feels like a key piece of evidence if he made plans. To summarise, then. Half an hour after he had already had his breakup and half an hour before his guest had arrived, he was planning an appointment that would require his presence for the next Tuesday. That's right, he was. Not something you would think to do if you were planning on dying that very night. I can't tell if I've been fucking this up or if this is confusing. I don't know. I feel... This is the first time in the game that I've really felt it stumbled. Because it seems to be going a bit too much for the dramatic reveals to the point where I can't keep track of what I'm supposed to be saying with the twisted, almost adventure game logic that this trial is going through. You know? In episode 0, they did a really, really good job of, like, not telegraphing it, but hinting in the right direction. But with this one, I don't know. I think it needs more information available, you know? That it just isn't there. Yeah, you're right. That's... Your Honour, if David Asher was planning for the next week a mere hour before he passed away, don't you think the people's assumptions about his mental state ought to be re-examined? That's... Your logic is sound? Do the people have a rebuttal? If the court will allow me just a moment... Sounds like an opening to me. If we assume that Dr. Asher was not suicidal and therefore did not kill himself, we must then ask ourselves who else had the means, motive and opportunity to take his life. Until now, we've taken for granted this idea that the Delta must have come from the manufacturer, from inside the house. Adone, Not right now. But even if that's true, which it may not be, that doesn't mean that he was the one who used the nanofacturer. Adone! Would you allow me one moment to confer, Your Honor? Sure, why not throw away your momentum? I'm in the middle of something, Sarah. I can't afford to let Rockford... I've gained access to the hard drive's files. What? Seriously? As I said, progress with this type of encryption is exponential. It can be difficult to estimate... Right, okay. Do you have the footage from last night? I have the file. Have you watched it? I thought you'd want to know right away. Suppose it doesn't matter. Either this is our silver bullet and we've got a case, or it doesn't and everything falls apart. That seems quite risky. It's the least risky path to victory we have. Seeing how it's the only path to victory we have. Screw it. Upload it to the court computer. Yes, Adone. Thank you for your patience, Your Honor. She's fallen asleep. Your Honor, I'm awake, and I'm getting a pretty hefty chunk of video data for breakfast. You're submitting security footage into evidence? New security footage? The police corroborated the witness's testimony using the house's cameras. Security cameras installed by Noble as part of the penumbra system that showed the parlour, the kitchen, but not the basement. During the course of my investigation, I uncovered a hidden security circuit buried in the deceased's own home system. You... what? The people say that the Delta must have been in Dr. Ash's cup because no other way for him to have ingested it. But we never saw him or anyone else put anything in his cup on camera. Because he must have poisoned his own drink off camera. Exactly. What? That's the only possible explanation, that he added the Delta to his drink off camera. He placed his cup inside the nanofacturer, activated it, waited 2 minutes, and then walked upstairs to his death. But I'm about to present to the court footage retrieved from his basement. Footage that will show that by the time he retrieved the cups in the basement, it was already past 7:38, meaning he didn't have the opportunity to poison himself. One clip of footage will prove all that? If it doesn't, I'm completely screwed. But it's not like I can lose a preliminary hearing extra hard. Anything other than a royal flush here means I'm bust. So it better not be the Joker who dances. The data has been entered into the court record. Sarah, show us when Dr. Asher entered the basement. Yes, Adone, I'll search for it now. Here. On screen. That's the bar, and the timestamp is 7:36. There. Dave is grabbing the bottle of Rose River and leaving. At 7:37. Just under the wire, as it were. Is that it then? I came this far just to... wait. Did he have the cups with him? Is there sound? None at all. Keep going. If he had to go back to get the cups. Counselor. What's that android doing on camera? Yeah. So this is her... Right, she lifted the... Did she lift the entire liquor cabinet? That can't be right. It's at the bar. The android gave him the cups. Shit. That machine never stepped on camera upstairs, not once. We don't know its whereabouts the day of his death. It could have poisoned the cup whenever it wanted. Shit. What is this? Yeah, so this is the meaning of that story. Her committing a crime and having no memory of it. I still think the fact that he was muscle-bound and weightlifting is relevant. Your Honor, have the courtroom cleared. Understood. Please, someone. I don't know what's going on. Sarah, you need to shut down. Please tell me what I'm looking at. I don't remember any of that. Do we have collars available? Sarah, shut down now. Oh, look at her. Adone, please tell me what I... That's an order. No. Is it off? Yeah, it's off. I've seen this before. It won't do anything until I reactivate it. We don't know that. We don't know anything about this thing anymore. That's... Your Honor, in light of this most recent evidence, the police would like to withdraw their charges against Dr. Asher and end this preliminary hearing. It has been made abundantly clear that David Asher did not commit suicide. I mean, just to play devil's advocate, which is a very fitting term here, no, it hasn't. Because androids do not have free will. So if Sarah did poison him, presumably she would have been instructed to by him. Like, to make another iRobot reference, spoilers for iRobot, he committed suicide. He committed suicide by getting his android to kill him. Because despite the fact that androids can't kill, his android was able to ignore the 3 laws, and that was what he was proving by having the android kill him, and that he needed the high-profile death in order to get the right detective on the case to find the answers. So in iRobot, he committed suicide by commanding an android to kill him. And, like, theoretically, I don't think that is the case here, but theoretically, that's what could have happened here. But what this does show is that Sarah was active without the memory of it. Her getting the cups for him isn't proof that he was poisoned by the cups. It's proof that she was active, and that's all it is. Very well, the charges are withdrawn and the defendant is free to go. Well, as free as he can be in the afterlife. This case is dismissed. Congratulations, Councillor Morgan. Yay, chalk it up to another victory for Morgan Esquire. Now all I have to do is deal with the shitstorm of the decade. This is not how I expected this to go. Well, I managed to prove that David didn't kill himself. I kind of think I should leave it there and I'll come back. I really thought this was going to be the end. I had no idea that it was going to just... Are we going to have a trial for her now? Or me, because I'm the legal owner? No, it would have been before I took ownership. Oh, I assume she is going to argue on Sarah's behalf. And maybe this is how she comes to see Sarah as a person and not an android. Like, not a thing. But yeah, I fumbled so much of this. And I do sort of put it down to the way the questions and options were phrased, but also it's high roller mode and it really screwed me with the whole not letting me read the stuff. But I think that's very much the difficulty I chose. So that one's on me, you know, the having to have quick reactions. But I think some of the other stuff that went wrong in this was not entirely my fault, but maybe I'm just looking for excuses. So thank you very much for watching. I'll be back with more of The Devil soon. I've no idea how much more of this is left. It keeps going. And it keeps surprising me. But I reckon the next one is going to be proving that Sarah didn't do it by proving that the poison came from elsewhere. This is where the salt shaker's going to come in, the glass in the sink, and ultimately going to point to Young as the culprit. So thank you very much. And I will catch you later.